Hey, I'm Carly-Rae, and this is Book Hour with Jennifer Dupee.
Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer Dupee, author of The Little French Bridal Shop, and I'm here with Hey, it's Carly-Rae.
Thank you, Jennifer, for coming on Book Hour. I am so excited to find out more about the Little French Bridal Shop, so without further ado, let's get started.
I have always loved to read. Literally, my kindergarten report card said, Jennifer just wants to sit in the corner and read. And honestly, most days I still just want to sit in the corner and read. I've always loved literary and contemporary fiction, and as my love of reading has grown and grown over the years, my love of writing evolved from that. I tried to get my first novel published, I want to say I was 22. I had just graduated from college, and I had written a novel while I was in college. It was my thesis for my creative writing undergrad honors degree. And I had no idea what I was doing. Both with the book, I think the book wandered a lot because I was teaching myself how to write a novel. But also there's the whole industry side of it where you're learning how to interact with editors and agents. And I was going directly to the editors rather than finding an agent first. So I was getting some interest, but I wasn't really kind of making it happen. And so since then, I had written a few other novels before I finally finished this novel and landed my agent. And in fact, with this agent, I had actually been pitching him a different book, though I had just started on A Little French Bridal Shop. And he asked for an exclusive with my prior book, and he really liked it, but then ultimately decided to pass. But thankfully, he said, let's have a call, and I want to hear what else you're working on. And I was working on The Little French Bridal Shop, and he liked it, and I continued to develop it, and the rest is history. I tend to start my stories with setting. So I'm really drawn to nature. I grew up near the ocean, and in this case, The Little French Bridal Shop, my grandmother lived for many years in this small seaside town of Beverly Farms, Massachusetts, which is next to Manchester by the Sea, of movie fame, Manchester by the Sea. And it's just a setting that's really deeply ingrained in my psyche, and one that I drew on as I embarked on the opening pages of the book. So setting is really important to me when I start, but also sort of images. So in this case, I had an image of an old house kind of up on a hill, and my character I knew was sort of distraught, and I needed to figure out why. And I was settling in. I had treated myself to a writing weekend at an inn in Rockport, Massachusetts, also a small seaside town. And I began to fixate on the very large repeating pattern of pheasants that was on the wallpaper. And I kept laughing as I was looking at these pheasants, and I couldn't stop looking. And so I began to write the wallpaper into the story. And that's where the idea came from. And indeed, one of the first scenes in my novel, my main character, Larissa, takes a crowbar to the wallpaper to try to uncover the source of an apparent leak. But she does it with maybe more aggression than she needs to, and we learn she's really struggling with her mother's failing health, and the story starts to unravel from there. When I'm working on a novel, I kind of function somewhere between a pantser and a plotzer. So as you may know, pantser is writing by the seat of your pants. So you're just kind of letting inspiration come and going with where the story takes you. But plotting, obviously, you outline and you kind of really plan out the story. When I was younger, I was such a pantser. I would just kind of see where the muse took me. But I've become really much more of a plotter. Although I will say it depends on what stage of the story I'm in. So if I'm in gestation stage, I'm more of a pantser, and I tend to kind of take notes. I'll have a notebook where I'm collecting images and phrases, and I might do some free writing around a setting or a character. But then once the story starts to crystallize, I really prefer to plot it out a little, but I don't like to be constrained too much. And wonderful tools like writing software like Scrivener really helps you organize your work. So I would highly recommend using something like that because it helps you kind of visualize the arc of your story. And then once I've started, I work full time, so I wish I was able to work more diligently on my novels every day. But it probably takes between 3 to 5 years to get something that I'm really happy with. I can be a little perfectionist, so it takes some time. The Little French Bridal Shop is set in motion when Larissa Pearl, returns to the small seaside hometown where she grew up upon the death of her great-aunt Ursula. She's a bit of an emotional mess. She's just lost her job, and she's broken up with her boyfriend, and she's struggling to cope with her mother's failing health. And on a whim, she wanders into the local bridal shop on the main street of this small little town that she's returned to, and she buys a dress, even though she has no groom. Soon, word spreads all over town that she's getting married, and rather than do anything to dispel the rumor, she perpetuates it. And small town chaos ensues. The story unfolds from there. The Little French Bridal Shop is my debut novel, and I'm so excited to share it with the world. For authors who are just starting out, this is maybe going to be some hard advice to hear, but it's true, I think. You have to go through it, you can't go around it. So it takes time and effort to develop your craft. It may take years for you to finish a novel, and that novel may not pay off. But you've learned something in the writing and the exercising of that novel. And you will take those skills that you have learned and you will bring them to the next novel, and maybe the next novel, and maybe the next one. So develop your craft, hone your craft, get input on your craft, and do everything you can to learn and evolve your writing. Find what you can do better. Writing is revising, and so you've got to put the effort in to really look at your craft and find ways to continually improve it and make it resonate with readers. Though the book deals with some challenging subjects, ultimately it's a really hopeful book. There are some scenes that are challenging. We learn about Larissa's mother who's struggling with dementia, which is a really challenging disease. But I think that readers will come away with it with a sense of renewal and a promise that when times are hard, we can rediscover ourselves and find ourselves again by reconnecting with those we care for and those we love. Thank you for watching my book hour on Hey, It's Carly-Rae. I hope you'll seek out the Little French Bridal Shop, which is available at bookstores and online retailers today. And hey, follow me on social media. The links are in the descriptions below.
So that concludes today's book hour episode featuring Jennifer Dupee. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment your thoughts in the description below, and let me know if you guys have read The Little French Bridal Shop. In the meantime, you guys can find out more from Jennifer and me on social media, and you guys can stay tuned because I'm going to be featuring more best-selling authors of every genre on Book Hour, so stay tuned. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Bye!